Hi, I'm Aiden, and this is Blaine, and we are with North Medford's video production team.
We've had the pleasure to interview the director, producer, and cinematographer Nadia Shiab on Jaddoland. Jaddoland is a film about her mother and the meaning of home.
Why did you decide to open the film with taking a dead animal out of an old car?
That's so funny because someone stopped me at another screening and they were like, "Were you the director of Jaddoland?" And they were like, why did you decide to open with that scene? I mean, I think there are a lot of reasons why we use scenes. Sometimes they communicate something emotionally. Sometimes they communicate information. Sometimes it just puts the audience in a certain kind of state of mind that is helpful for the scene that comes after. So it kind of makes them more open to what comes after. For me, what happens in that scene is layered. And part of what happens is that it establishes my positionality. So it establishes who I am from behind the camera, where we are in Texas, who the person is that we're looking at, which is my mother, and that also that we're about to see a film that is not so traditional in documentary style. So in terms of like the long take and you know, showing things that other films might not show or that might cut more quickly. So that's kind of why I used it. And so it has less to do with what she pulls out of the car and more to do with everything else that's happening. Mm-hmm.
I guess this is a movie about your mother and the whole, your family and meaning of home and all that. How did your mother feel about the film after? Like, did she ever watch it?
Yeah, I mean, she did watch it. We watched it together towards the end. I didn't share much with her when I was making it, but there was also this trust. I mean, she knew I was filming for those few years that I was filming. She completely trusted me. And so when she finally did see the film, I mean, she was moved by it, and I think she was proud of me as well. I mean, it's hard to make a feature film, but because we've had this kind of intertwined creative process, I think she also felt in many ways that this project was an extension of her own work. So it's kind of this lineage of creative process across generations.
And then, so coming from the CAAM page that was about you and your film, you said something along the lines that you use a camera to hold things you love close to you. Do you still do that?
Yeah, I mean, so the CAAM page is the Center for Asian American Media, which is a wonderful supporter of this film. And what I said in that statement when I use the camera to hold the things I love close to me. For me, this project and the film that preceded it as well, it was a way to look at the images and lived experience of our life, things that I couldn't quite understand in the moment, but it was a way to capture them, bear witness, and then be able to go back and reflect on them quietly by myself in a way that allowed me to bring those fragments together and formulate some kind of meaning that made sense of our life.
It said, I think you didn't really originally intend for it to be a film, correct? At first. Do you, what point did you decide that you were going to make it a film?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I was filming and I think I was thinking it could be something, but I didn't have the idea of it being a story or a feature film, or I don't think I knew what the end product would be. I was more concerned with the process. I think it was really, honestly, when my grandfather arrived, because up until then, it had just been me and my mother working on our work in a way that was connected but separate. And then once my grandfather, who's from Iraq, arrived, suddenly there was like this, suddenly it became grounded in like history and our own roots, and my, I had this longing to really connect with my grandfather and was struggling to find the words because we don't, I speak a little of his language, but that distance and that kind of, that longing to be close to the place that you came from, but realizing that you're actually very far from it now, was what made me realize like this could be something more.